Coach, another tough loss. I guess your last two losses have been in similar fashion. Is there anything to make out of it, like those last two innings? Anything you guys can maybe change differently? Hopefully it doesn't happen the next time around. You're in the same situation.
Yeah, in fact, we did change, believe it or not, this time. We went to a full court zone, and after the Santa Barbara game, kind of a few days after that, we worked on some special situations with minimal time and a time scored or a team down one, so on and so forth, where they have to bring the ball the length of the floor. And we actually worked on something different, keeping a team going left and, opposed to that right side. And, 8 seconds is still a long time. And we had a little breakdown on the back end and unfortunately left the guy open. Jumped up and made it.
Yeah, he made a good shot.
Yeah, absolutely. His first three of the night, by the way.
I wanted to ask, after the game, what was the mood in the locker room? Since it was a non-conference game, were the guys, were they still pretty loose? I mean, it seemed like on the court afterwards they were still, okay. And I mean, what was the mood of the team after a loss like that?
Well, one thing I think our guys have done here in the last 6-7 games, and all year, quite frankly, but winning helps, is they're very competitive. They're starting to believe in each other. I think the group is really playing well together, and the competitive nature of all of us definitely felt like we let one slip away, so to speak. But crazy thing is, kind of joking, but after the Santa Barbara game, we won 6 straight. After that tough loss. After this tough loss, if we win 6 straight again, we'll be, celebrating on Selection Sunday. So, little tongue-in-cheek there, but I think our guys are pretty resilient. We had great practices after the Santa Barbara game and going into that Bakersfield win on the road a few weeks ago. So, we're just going to come back to work. Gave guys today off, and tomorrow and Wednesday really prep for Long Beach.
Talk about Long Beach. I mean, if you have any chance of winning the conference, you got to win this game. We know how good they are. They had a big win on Saturday themselves. Guys, they kind of knocked you around a little bit. The conference opener back in December. I mean, this is a tough test for you guys. So what's the mindset going into a very big matchup for this team?
Yeah, the mindset is we've got to play a really, really good basketball game, obviously. I think the special thing about Long Beach is obviously they're playing very well right now, and that starting 5, all 5 guys average in double figures, and those guys, I heard a statistic, they played together 80-plus games of those guys. They play really, really well together. It's in my recent history, as well as anybody that I've seen play, how well they pass together in interior, and Casper Ware, their starting point guard, really is a guy that makes them go. And quite frankly, he's playing like an MVP of the league type of candidate right now. So they're really good. They're good at home, but we've been good on the road. I think our guys show a little resiliency. And, just like the NAU game being a non-conference game, the Long Beach game, of course, it's not going to make or break our season. It's obviously going to hurt our chances of being the regular season, conference champion. But if we lose at Long Beach, it's not going to end our year. It's a one-bid conference, and the conference tournament is really what's going to decide, who goes to the NCAA tournament.
Since the tournament is down in Anaheim, you obviously would love to be at home these last 3 games, but I mean, being on the road, do you like that heading into the conference tournament? Do you like the challenge? Since you have played so well on the road.
We have. I wouldn't say we like it. We sure liked being at home during that stretch, and fortunately we took care of business at home. You go on the road, you try to squeak one out somewhere, and we have 3 opportunities to get a road win. Our goal going into the season was to get a minimum of 4 road wins in conference. We've achieved that. Now we want to go exceed our goal and try to get one somewhere there. Have a winning record on the road in conference is really phenomenal in any conference. And we're halfway there, or we've met our 4 wins. Now we're going to go out and see if we can get one here Thursday, and if not, Saturday, and then of course one final opportunity next Saturday.
We've talked to Coach Calero about free throws lately. The team's been struggling. Had a good game against Northridge, and Saturday kind of struggled again. I mean, free throws are obviously very important, especially tournament time and all that. I mean, again, how much of a concern is it that this team's just kind of struggling? It looks like Sean's still kind of, he's kind of fighting it a little bit. I mean, I know it's got to be something that the team's got to be at least concerned about going into these final few games.
Yeah, and free throws are big. You know, interesting to statistically, you have a team like, put in comparisons, but a team like NAU, who's the #1 three-point shooting team in the country, not just in their league, but in the country, they're the worst free throw shooting team in the league, in their league. A lot of times it's the guys that get to the line. And right now, Sean has had some games where he's been phenomenal. I think he was 10 for 12 in a game, and he had the one game where he struggled, so maybe a little inconsistent. Will Donahue's really raised his percentage. He's a guy that gets fouled. The guy we have to get going here is David Hanson a little bit. I think he's really struggling at the line, and he gets to the line a lot, relatively speaking. So that has a tendency to affect your overall free throw shooting, especially game by game. We're going to keep working on it. We maybe tweak a thing here and there, especially if a guy's not getting the results that he wants and we feel like he's a better shooter than what he is. But it's a concern because, on the road you got to get baskets are tough to begin with, points are tough to begin with, and you got to take advantage of those free times to score when the clock's not running.
Coach, just kind of curious as far as from a scouting standpoint, when you have a team like Long Beach with so many weapons, you can't really just key on, Casper Ware or Larry Anderson. They have so many weapons. Kind of generally speaking, what's the philosophy to try and shut down such a potent offense like Long Beach?
Yeah, it's my scout, quite frankly, too, so it's to talk really specific on it. The thing that they do is they do a great job of putting pressure on the rim via the pass, penetration, crashing the offensive rebound. So they really put a lot of pressure on the rim. They have a very good shooter in Greg Plater, and Casper Ware is shooting the ball well from the three, but they're not a team that's hunting the three. They want to get a majority of their baskets inside. So I think, number one, we've got to take away the obvious easy baskets, and those most of the time come in transition. So we've got to make sure we're back taking away transition baskets. And then we have to limit second chances for them. We've done a good job against teams field goal percentage-wise, meaning that there's a lot of missed shots. We've got to minimize their opportunity for second shots. And so building our defense from the inside out, that's probably going to be the biggest goal. But you're right, that 5 guys in double figures. We have to find a way to get to their bench. Their next leading scorer, I think, is at 5 points a game, and no disrespect to him, but we've got to put somebody else in a position to do things maybe that they're not used to doing. Finding a way, we don't press. And one of the ways that we kind of determined our way of pressing or doing something different is maybe double teaming the post or double teaming a ball screen, trying to create some offensive opportunities for us. So we've just got to mix the game up a little bit. But the bottom line, although it sounds simplistic, is we've got to take away easy scoring opportunities for them.
Talk about Saturday's game. I mean, are you scouting them as well? Or
Fullerton?
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, it is.
Talk
That's
about,
the way it works out.
I know the big focus is Long Beach, but what it's going to take to get a W in Fullerton as well?
Yeah, Fullerton's a lot different team. They're going to 2-3 zone us the whole game. They're going to zone us, and so they're really susceptible to open perimeter shots, and I think we're going to get a lot of those. I think we made 13 of them maybe against them here in one game. I don't remember what game. No, it wasn't against them, but we're going to have to jump up and make shots because they're going to make it tough to score inside. And this week we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about where those shots are going to come from. Conversely, they have 2 inside guys that are very physical. They're undersized, similar, and so that's going to put David in a situation where he's going to have to guard a guy who's probably a little bit more physically imposing on him, and how we're going to fix that. And that's where doubling in the post will be a little bit, but they have a little bit better shooting team. And so that could cause a little bit problem for us. But they're both very challenging games. Fullerton, I think Fullerton has lost. The record does not show very well right now. But, where Long Beach has won close games, and conversely is now 11-2 in the league, Fullerton has lost some really close games, and their record is struggling. So they could easily have been, have a positive record right now. So it's going to be tough. They're good at home, really good at home.
I mean, this is, second to last week of conference play. Guys may be a little tired mentally, physically. I mean, update us on how the guys are doing and, just going into this very important next couple of weeks.
Yeah, injury-wise and without commenting specifically, I think guys are good. Guys are healthy. It's amazing what winning a few games do. All of a sudden the bumps or bruise that you might take a day off here or there. guys are fighting through that a little bit more. I think guys are excited. They're excited. We gave them today the day off today to kind of rejuvenate a little bit. And tomorrow we'll come back and get right after it. And I really suspect that they will be very fired up and eager to go on this road swing here for these last 3 games. Kind of a corny term we use is keep your eyes on the prize. And during the game, the prize is obviously making a basket, but our overall goal is to win every game we play, move on, get to the conference tournament, and keep playing until they tell us we can't play anymore. And so that's kind of been the mindset of this team, during this stretch and going into the last couple weeks of the season. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, how would you evaluate Chris O'Brien's play right now?
I think, he's probably one of our better on-ball defenders, discipline-wise. One of the things we do in terms of defending the ball is we try to keep a guy one way. If he starts bouncing it left, like, for example, the Jones kid the other night, he really was good going to his right. And if he got going left, he'd like to get you to cut him off, and then he'd spin back going to his right. Chris is really disciplined in that regards defensively for us. Offensively, he's a good one-directional driver. I think he does that a little bit, but I think he's still struggling with his 3-ball a little bit and when to shoot it. We have confidence in him to jump up and shoot the ball, but unless the player does it himself, you can't help him other than just tell him, Chris, if you're open, jump up and knock it down. So he's still starting for us. We still have confidence in him in that regards, and he's still going to get every opportunity.
I know it's a hypothetical, but if he were making more threes, would you sense that would maybe ease things on David a little bit in terms of, because he commands a lot of attention, when in ball games now. He
does. David, I think the attention David gets, the attention Sean gets, helps other guys. It creates opportunities for other guys, and I think other guys need to take advantage of that. For example, Will Donahue has the great game against Northridge. I think their teams are very conscious. You look at our stats, we have 2 guys averaging 15 points, the next guy's at 8. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out where a majority of our team's points are coming from. So conversely, Chris is going to come open for some open shots. Malik, he needs to be a little bit more aggressive shooting the basketball. Believe it or not, he's shooting a good percentage when he gets his feet set and the ball's getting kicked out to him, and Sean's assist numbers are coming up, and David's as well, because they're looking for teammates. So, but we do need those guys when they get the opportunity to shoot and score the ball a little bit. We need them to do that, when the pressure is put on David and Sean.
I asked because there's 3 games left,
yeah.
And then the tournament. You guys are what you are. How much change can you expect from those guys at this point of the season to try to get more out of them?
Well, I think what you're seeing substitution-wise a little bit, there's kind of a pattern. Of course, Jamal usually comes in for Malik the other night earlier than anticipated because of the foul trouble. And then with Drake Uyu and Chris O'Brien, Chris starts, but we really kind of look at that to see who's playing better. And that'll dictate the minutes. It's not a personal thing. It's a production thing. We want to win the games, and whichever guy on that particular night's playing a little better will probably get a few more minutes. And they're similar guys physically. I think that's the comment that you hear from other coaches when they see our team and go against us is that Malik's a pretty good-sized kid for a true freshman, and then of course Sean and Sean, David, Chris / Drake. And Will Donahue, when we're switching screens and doing things, there's not much of an advantage gained, by getting one of those guys on you. So, yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot. Hopefully guys just get a little better here in the next 2 weeks.